In an October column, I asked the Detroit Lions a very candid question. What's the going rate for patriotism at the time? It had been discovered that a week after many players across the league decided to kneel during the national anthem after Donald Trump referred to the peaceful protesters as sons of BES, Lions owner Martha Ford met with her team and asked them to stop kneeling. Ford was willing to donate money to any of the community issues that were at the core of the players' cause for kneeling. The following Sunday, only two Lions decided to kneel: Steve Longa and Akeem Spence. Longa's father had just been killed, and Spence's dad had lost a contract job over his son's decision to kneel. Martha Ford was onto something. And apparently, the NFL was paying attention. Earlier this week, ESPN reviewed documents that the league gave to players about a proposal that would contribute almost $100 million to important causes in African American communities. The league is hoping that the move will be a show of good faith and lead to a culture that ends player protests. However, it proves that the league was never listening to the players in the first place and have yet to understand why players kneel. Colin Kaepernick never asked for a check, he wanted reform. El Sajati images holding law enforcement accountable for their actions is free, and the cost of being humane doesn't have a price tag attached to it. According to reports, a line has been drawn in the sand between the players, and it seems as if two men are at the center of it: Philadelphia Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins and San Francisco 49ers safety Eric Reid. Jenkins has become the pseudo-leader of the Players Coalition that has been negotiating with the league office and owners. Jenkins has also been vital in meeting with legislators, and twice in the past year visited Washington, D.C. with other players to meet with congressmen from both sides of the aisle to address police brutality and racial injustice. The legislative things don't get all the attention because it's kind of a boring story, but it's definitely very important, and those things matter, Jenkins told the New York Daily News this past summer. You get reminded why you're doing the work whenever there's another police killing, but I know I'm really trying to move more towards changing legislation. Reid has been actively protesting and kneeling since 2016, and as Kaepernick's former teammate was the first one to kneel next to him last season. On Wednesday, Reid tweeted his decision to withdraw from the Players Coalition. He isn't seeing eye to eye with the way things are going with Jenkins in power. With much thought and consideration, I've decided to officially withdraw my involvement in the Players Coalition founded by Malcolm Jenkins and Anquan Boldin, he wrote. The Players Coalition was supposed to be formed as a group that represents NFL athletes who have been silently protesting social injustices and racism, Thomas and Red said via Twitter. However, Malcolm and Anquan can no longer speak on our behalf as we don't believe the coalition's beliefs are in our best interests as a whole. On Thursday, things escalated to another level. The reported agreement between that Players Coalition and the league has the NFL set up to donate at least $89 million over a 7-year period for both national and local projects. Some of the national funding would go to the United Negro College Fund, Dream Corp, and the Players Coalition. But before the players can accept the hush money, they still need an approval vote from the owners before it can be finalized. Richard Drywip, however, Reid is calling BS on the entire situation. According to him, the NFL is robbing Peter to pay Paul by moving some of the money designated for Salute to Service and breast cancer awareness to the social justice causes. In the discussion that we had, Malcolm Jenkins conveyed to us based on discussions that he had with the NFL that the money would come from funds that are already allocated to breast cancer awareness and Salute to Service, Reid told Slate. So it would really be no skin off the owners' backs, they would just move the money from those programs to this one. This entire situation is a mess, and Jenkins seems to be in the middle. The optics surrounding the situation worsened throughout the day when ESPN sports business reporter Darren Rovell tweeted a photo from July that shows Jenkins at the opening of a Papa John's franchise he's involved with in North Philadelphia. Last month, the pizza company came under scrutiny when its founder blamed player protest as the reason for his company's low sales numbers. Papa John later apologized, but the damage was already done. A white supremacist group even claimed Papa John's as the official pizza of the alt-right. Jenkins then announced that he would no longer be raising his right fist during the national anthem, a gesture he had been doing since last season to protest social injustices. It's been a trying process for the last year and a half, Jenkins said, and I'm sure even moving forward there's going to be some growing pains and things we need to move through. But at the end of the day, I'm focused on solutions and outcomes. I really want to make an impact in my community. I want to make sure we do it in the right manner and that we accomplish what we set out to do when we first started to protest as players. While it can't be denied that Jenkins has done the work, I'd be lying if I said that something about this doesn't feel right. If Jenkins was truly raising his fist in protests, then why is he so quick to drop his arm as soon as a check is cut? Marcio Jose Sanchez Apididnt. No, a simple wire transaction was the antidote to racism and police brutality. In July, Jenkins told me that the deaths of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile were his tipping point. On Tuesday, it was reported that Castile's girlfriend will receive $800,000 in a settlement claim for emotional distress and false arrest since she was in the car along with her and Castile's 4-year-old daughter when Officer Geronimo Yanez shot and killed him during a traffic stop that was on Facebook Live. There isn't a dollar amount that will ever bring Castile's family any solace, and if there was, $800,000 isn't even close to being enough. Castile is one of the reasons why Kaepernick kneeled, and who knows how much money he's lost from the ramifications of his peaceful protest. The NFL has agreed to write a $100 million check to make this all go away, and some of the players are cool with it. And now we learn that check may have already been written, just made out to someplace else. That leaves me with only one conclusion. For some, kneeling wasn't something that was invaluable. It was just a trendy thing to do.